why? He's just unbelievable.
She was a nice girl. She used to sit out front and bother nobody at all. She just used to sit there and speak to everybody. She was a nice girl. It's a shame.
Patricia Grainger, who suffered learning difficulties, went missing from the family home in Parson Cross the week before she died. Her body was found less than a mile away in Hartley Brook. She'd been stabbed and strangled. Police know Patricia was alive during the time she was away from home, but so far there's been no information about where she was staying.
Just 5 when his mother was murdered, Daniel Grainger's haunted by thoughts of how she died. Daniel's created a website to appeal for information.
I hope that soon someone will come forward with the information needed to finally get the person charged with this, and also let my mum rest in peace. The worst times are birthdays and Christmases, knowing that she could have been there if it wasn't for some sick, evil person.
Daniel has vivid and painful memories of the day in 1997 when he was told his mother had died and the police manhunt which followed.
I remember the police cars, a few police cars, people stood up front. Someone picked me up and told me what had happened, took me down, me out his back garden, told me everything. I just remember crying on his shoulders.
Daniel was brought up by his grandparents, but he's still traumatised by his mother's death. Patricia Grainger's body was found dumped here in this brook, just 10 minutes from her home. Her son Daniel's now hoping that his website will finally get the help he needs to find her killer. South Yorkshire Police said they'd welcome any information to help solve the crime.
It's really important that I get it solved, because then myself and my family can get some kind of closure. That's why if anyone knows anything, I urge them to come now.
He hopes the website will bring him the answers he needs.
Patricia had been missing for almost a week before her body was found. She'd been known to disappear overnight before, but this time concern for her safety was growing. Her body was discovered by 2 boys playing by Hartley Brook. Police are confident the woman's body had been in the dyke for at least 24 hours before it was discovered, but she'd been stabbed and it's likely the attack was sexually motivated.
And it's completely indefensible. Here is a young, vulnerable woman with a mental age of 9 or 10, and someone has taken advantage of her in a rather vicious way.
Police say they're determined to catch the man who carried out this brutal murder of a young mother who they say would never have harmed anyone.
A thought becomes a word spoken in tongues in a living room, in the road. That word becomes a deed. Vowels pour out of their mouths, to chuck, to smash, to cut, sharp stones. Pebble dash, the drip and splash of water at the edge of the suburb, the edge of the town. A stream, a patch of grass, scrubby trees at the back of the flats.
This is a stream where my mum was found. She was kind of in the stream, but not at the same time, and had a bed base covering her. And she was found by some youths. We used to come on here, we used to play when we were little and stuff like that. And like build dens on here. Because it's felt like no connection at the time. And then when I found out, it kind of made you feel sick that you'd been there as well, and not knowing.
Dumped like an old settee, her tortured body in the water, her sister and her son still trapped by the weight of those facts.
She'd been stabbed multiple times, strangled and sexually assaulted and beaten.
Patricia's empty sacrifice, bullied all her life for being like she was, for being different.
I know she put up a fight, and I just pray to God that she would just unconscious at end or something. And whoever did know her knew of how she were, knew they could mislead her. It's basically like, I put it in a way like a paedophile tried to gain a child's trust. They know how to do it, they know how to be nice and everything like that. And I believe that that's what happened to Pat, myself. That's my conclusion, that they've gained Pat's trust and took advantage of that situation of her being like she were.
Is it hard for you to think about her vulnerability?
Because of the way you try to protect her. And I went there for Pat to protect her. And I should have done more, and I couldn't.
She fell through every net. She was off the map, unsupported, undiagnosed. Her family left to carry the cost, Patricia's sister and her son.
Does she live right?
Have you got any further?
No.
I remember you when you were literally your mum, it were awful for you, love.
I don't know.
My sister's got learning difficulties and it could just have easily been her.
Yeah.
So,
You don't know, yeah?
yeah, it's terrible.
Winter sun gives up the ghost. Who's to say it won't happen again? No convictions, her case completely cold.
There's currently a £10,000 reward being put up for information leading to arrest and conviction, £5,000 by the family and £5,000 by Crimestoppers themselves. The reward itself is only claimable if you hand information to Crimestoppers directly, either via 0800 555 111 or via the Crimestoppers website at crimestoppers-uk.org. As I said, to be eligible for the reward, the information must be passed directly to Crimestoppers, and it must also lead to the arrest and conviction of anybody responsible for the death of my mum.